Now look at JavaScript assigning multiple event handlers on a single event. So typically we're gonna dive deep a little bit into event handlers in JavaScript. We've done a few of them in a previous video, but here we're gonna concentrate only on multiple event handlers and how they behave on the screen using JavaScript. Okay, so let's begin with a simple button which we're gonna use to trigger those events. So let's have a button here, and with the button we need an ID for it. So let me say this ID should be my btn, and we'll have a click me message here. Okay, so in here let's define a custom function here. Okay, so in here we're gonna have a function with the name, let's say first function, just to be explicit, and the naming first function, and we'll have our round and curly bracket in here, and in here we're just gonna have alert print here. So very simple function with just an alert. So let's say the first function. Okay, then let me terminate that. Now let's create the second function. Okay, so this will be second here, second, and then we'll have second here. Okay, so next we're gonna have a selecting button element, and let me do this right here, and we'll have let this button be equal to, let me take off this comment, let this button be equal to let's refer to the btn we have up there, which is the ID we have up there. So document dot right, then let's do document dot get element by ID. So we do element by ID, and then with this we'll call our ID there, which is btn here. Okay, so what we're gonna use this for is we're gonna just use this to do a selection of functions. So selection button for, let's say, element. Okay, then we'll have the assignment event handlers to the button. So okay, so in this one we're gonna have two on click here. So we'll have our first btn dot on click, and this one will be assigned to our first function, which is this one. And we'll have the second one, copy and paste, and then use second here for the second function. Okay, great. So here what will happen is we want to see how these buttons react based on these two functions we have here. First, looking at this, we have, this is a global ID here, or let's say a button we are referring inside the script tag, and we're calling that by its ID. And anytime we click this side, one of these functions should be displayed on the screen. So now we have two on click and two functions at the same time. If we have a second function, for example, let me comment this and then we try it on the screen first. When I click this, we have the first function, but if I activate the second one, what do you think will happen? Let's check it out. Let me see. No, there was a spelling mistake here. Second. Okay, I refresh again and we have the second function. That means when we use on click assignment, what happens is any second on click you have will override the first one. So this one is an override of the first one. So that means using on click, you need to make sure you know what you're doing, because the next on click in this script will always override the other one. Great. So what if we want to do a multiple event listener on a single event? So we want to assign multiple event listeners on a single event. So what we have to do, instead of using the on click, we need to use what we call let me go this side, what we call the addEventListener. So addEventListener. Okay, so for addEventListener, what we have to do is to, instead to use the on click, we can simply use the addEventListener here, the one I just typed, but here is cap and here is also a cap. Same thing to the second one. So the same function we have, the same ID, nothing has changed. What has changed here is just this method we've called here, which is the addEventListener instead of on click. So I reload this page and then let me see. ID that on click btn.addEventListener. Oh, I omitted something here. We need to have this one inside a round bracket, and then we need to add a click here just to show. So we say click, first function, and let's have click second function. Okay, click second function in here. So let's go. Let me see. Click. Oh, not a mistake. No, equal to here. So we are using the addEventListener. Oh, let me see. Looks like I'm doing everything right here. So we have the first function. addEventListener, then we have btn document dot get element by id, which is okay. Second function alert, and then our previous function, first function alert to btn, my btn here, let's see this. Event. Oh, there's a spelling mistake here. The event listener here. Event listener here, sorry. L here, that's a big L. Okay, yeah. So I click on it and we say the first function shows and then the second function shows at the same time. So that means we are using what? A multiple event listener on a single event. So since we press just one button here, and this button will trigger the first one and then the second one at the same time. But if we use the on click, what happens is it's just gonna execute the last one on the list. So that is why we actually have to use the addEventListener when we want to execute multiple functions or logic. Great. Now let's move to the next one. We want to learn how to attach different event listener to different event types. Okay, so for example, we're gonna leave this the same. We have let me see, we have this id set, but I'm gonna add another function beneath this one. So let me grab this and put it here, then I'll repeat this function here. Okay, so now we have three functions here. This one, let me rename this. Let me say this is third function, and for the third function we're gonna have, let me clear this real quick. We'll have a third button for the event. Then this one will be a click. Next one we want to do a mouse over, because we want to do this so that it attaches different event listeners to different event types. So we are doing multiple, let's say multiple so simply put, it's gonna be event listener to different event types. Okay, so event listener to different event types here. So we have 1, 2, 3, all of them are event listeners, but what we're gonna do is to have different event types. The first one will leave it as click, the second one will leave it as mouse over. So when there's a mouse over, this should perform an event, mouse over. The next one will do mouse out. Okay, mouse click, mouse over, mouse out. Okay, so let me reload this. Mouse over, we have the second function, then we close it, then I go click. Great, we have the second function, and then so anytime we have, let me comment this. Now what it's doing is we have mouse over and mouse out. That is why we have it coming twice, like it's displaying twice. So when I do this, it's one. When I take the mouse out, it's another one. So when I close this, that one also executes at the same time. So let me comment this. Let's see the mouse over, how the mouse over only works. So let me reload page and let me go. Mouse over, just one, nothing happens. Mouse over. Okay, what about I uncomment the mouse out? Means if I point the mouse to it, it's not gonna work unless I take it off. So I reload the page, nothing happens. Out, then it does happen. Great. So that is how you could, apply different event listeners to a different event types. Very easy to implement. So it's just the type, the mouse over, mouse out, and then the click. So let's say the mouse over, I'm gonna comment that and then try the click and the mouse out. So I go, nothing happens, click, this one come out, the out one also shows. So that is an easy way to manipulate different kinds of events. So this is pretty much easy to learn. So adding, let's look at another one is let's add an event to an event listener to window resizing event. So for example, if you want to open and close, if it open or close it to a certain size, there should be an event popping up or an event telling you something, or when you're resizing it by opening, it should tell you something else. So how do we do that? We can easily do that with a button as well. So let's say we're gonna leave this like this, but we're not clicking since we'll be doing a resizing for the event to trigger. So there will not be any button, but we will use the ID. So first let me comment this, and then we're gonna use the first function for it. So I want to rename this to display window size. Display window size, that is DWS. So in this function, what we'll do is let me clear all this. Okay, what we're gonna do is to have two variables in there. So let's have one variable w, which is equal to window dot inner width. So we're gonna use the inner width for this one. Oh, okay, we'll be having an inner height, but this first one should be inner width, and the next one, let h be equal to window dot inner height for the h. Okay, then now we're gonna have let me take off this one. We're gonna have another variable, the name size, and what we'll do is it's gonna have the width and then the height. So we can tend to display the width and height here. For example, we can tend to display w and then h here. Okay, but let's just add a little string to it. So let's say width and then we'll have one for the height. So let me have a space in here, so I'll have this. Okay, then with the height, let's have the string here, and then we call it the height. Okay, then we have the concatenation sign class here, and then we end this. Okay, we need to have one plus sign here. Okay, great. Now let's do document.write here instead of the alert. Oh, document.get. Let's get the ID first. So get element by ID, which is this one, and the ID will be a button, not necessarily. Let me close this real quick. Not necessarily, so let's say display, so dis for this ID. Okay, and then that will be from the inner HTML, and that will equal to the size at which we'll be changing at any point in time. So this size. All right, now let's attach an event listener here for the resizing. So event listener for the sizing or resizing. Yes. Okay, so the event listener, it's gonna be the window, since we are using the screen. We are not using a button, we are not using any link or something, but we are going to trigger this event based on the window. So window.add event listener, then the event listener here will be first will be the event listener will be the resize. So resize here, then we call function. Great, so let's check it out. We still have BTN showing there, so we go that way, and then the event, will be happening anytime there's a resize there, and then it's counting like over there. Go that side, and then you see the event is triggering. We go to both sides, then you see the event is actually triggering there. So this is how we can simply add event listeners by resizing the screen, which is very, very easy to do. Okay, so if we want to, let's say we want to remove an event listener, we can simply do the clear. We can call the clear object, which we have done before. It is called a remove event listener before it does happens. So let's have an example here to demonstrate that. Okay, so we still have our button here, but this time around we're gonna add click me here. Okay, and for the click me here, let's have a function. Let's say this function name will be, let's say greet. Let's say greet me function, and we'll have a simple alert here, and we have hi. Okay. Next, we're gonna have a button which is button variable. So then we assign that to document dot get element by ID, and we're gonna call the ID up there, which is this. Okay, so now we have that. Now let's attach. Let's attach event listener. Let's attach event listener to our function. So to do that, our first event listener will be a click. Then we'll now add a remove, which is to clear it. So btn dot add event listener. Okay. So btn add event listener. Then we're gonna have our event listener here. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna call the click event listener, and then to trigger the function here, copy paste, and then I end the statement. Second, we'll be having another event listener, but this, instead of attaching, this one is gonna remove or removing. So to simply do that, instead to do the add event listener, it's gonna turn into remove like this. Then that is also a click. Let's run that on the screen. So when I click this, I should be having some display there. Okay. You have an ID of this, clicking. Oh, okay. Reach me, but I just copied, so it should work fine. And we have get ID. Get ID. It is I and small d. Okay, great. Let me double check this too. Click and gear is a gear me. Okay, let's say the function is gear me. Okay, yeah. Then let me reload. What is left out? Nothing is happening because this is actually triggering. It's triggering that because I'm pressing both at the same time. But let's see now that let me see. We should have some highlight here when I comment that. This is wrong. Get element by ID. Okay. Alright, so we get this. This page says hi. Okay. Now let me uncomment this. If I uncomment this, nothing will happen because the event listener remove one, which is this one, remove event listener, will clear this one not to happen. So let me reload, and nothing happens. Even though I'm clicking, nothing happens. But if I comment this, then something should happen because the remove event listener has been commented. So I got this right. Okay, now I am coming to the remove. Nothing will happen. Let me click. Yeah, so this is the way we manipulate a lot of event listeners in JavaScript function, and you can use this in most of your project. Peace, I'm out. I'm gonna see you in the next video.